Artifact.
Shut up, Miles. Oh, okay.
So catchy. Like, I know we hate it.
Artifact.
It's Artifact.
I'm not joining
Like, I know we
in.
hate it, but it's so
I'm not adding
catchy.
fuel to that fire.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Artifact Production Podcast. My name's Jose.
I'm Catalina.
I'm Miles.
You look so excited, Miles.
I just realized I'm always the last one to say my name.
You're also
Well-
covered in sweat.
You got sweaty pits, bro.
No, okay. They're going to
Women
think that
don't
that's
find that
actually a thing.
attractive.
They're not going to know that we were watching Tara's house. And we have to turn the AC off to get as clean audio as possible because that's what our listeners deserve.
I'm going to cut all that out.
No. Well, we got to cut the sweaty pits part out then. I don't have those.
This is a weekly podcast covering our production of The Crew, our first
Yeah.
animated television show.
Yay.
If you want more information, you can visit artifactproduction.com. That's ARTEFACT production.com. Hey, can you not mock me while I'm doing the...
I know the listeners can't see it, Miles, but that's pretty indignant.
That's
Well.
pretty grateful.
You ungrateful.
Yeah, sorry.
Heathen.
All I've contributed is my brain power and a Nicolas Cage cutout face.
And self-worth.
Yeah.
And your self-worth. You sold that a long time ago.
So, guys,
Yeah.
how was y'all's week? Sugoi.
Sugoi.
How was your week this week?
It's been pretty good. It's
Yeah?
been pretty good. A lot of great auditions. Some very interesting
I was going to
ones.
say interesting, yeah.
Some very interesting ones.
Yeah, there was a Mo that sounded
Deranged.
insane.
Manic.
It was awesome.
And
We're totally going to use it.
Yeah.
or something.
Absolutely
We
we
will.
are. And we already know where, too.
Mhm.
As soon as we heard it, we're like, oh, who is this?
Yeah, we had like
What
a
is this?
spontaneous 15-minute brainstorming session just because of that audition.
It was amazing. It was really great.
Well, and was this week the week with...
Yes, it was. Oh, yes.
I know which one you guys were talking
Now
We're talking about,
okay, I know. Are we allowed to
You
say
want to say it?
Yeah.
Cosmic Eel?
Cosmic Eel.
Cosmic
Cosmic
Eel, man.
Eel.
Eel.
Killed it, dude. Cosmic
He
Eel
was-
is... Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Thank you so much.
So good. And what made it even better was immediately after his audition ended, it went into this weird song on
It's called
SoundCloud. We're like,
Alchemy.
is that what it was
It
called?
sounded like a loop, but it wasn't a loop. It was just a long, like, techno.
It was so. I
Beat?
just added to it. It just added this. This
Yeah, it was...
umami.
It was
great.
Because it went there so soon after that it sounded like it was part of his audition.
It didn't. Yeah, you didn't have a second. You just jumped right into
Yeah.
it. You're like, what am I listening to? Did this guy add his own track?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And it kind of just made our imaginations run wild. Like, it was
Yes.
great. So...
It was really good. Thank you, Cosmic Eel.
Thank you, Cosmic
Thank
Eel.
Cosmic
you so
Eel.
much.
So again, even if you're not necessarily right for the role you audition for, please submit because your voice alone sometimes can get you a position out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there have been a few of them like that we're like, okay, we know we're going to use these people. We know that we are. Maybe
Yeah.
not for the role that they,
Absolutely.
auditioned for, but like clearly there are things in the work with some,
Mhm.
Cosmic Eel.
Well, and for me, in terms of my week, I've been working on the animatic, and boy, let me tell you, it is a lot of work.
I know every time I come in here, you are sitting at that desk and working
Yeah.
and working.
Just for reference, guys, the Kickstarter that we're working towards, literally the beginning is so complicated to animate, but you'll be able to see it.
It's all going to be worth it.
But man, is it a lot of work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know what it's like to animate 4 rows of like 30 chairs? It's, I mean,
So we now have a structure on how we're going to be approaching
How we're going to
social media.
assault social media.
I thought you said salt. Like
No,
how we're going to
ass-
sprinkle salt on, like salt of the
No.
earth. Okay.
No.
Sandbag him.
You want to just pipe down?
This is the second podcast week in a row that you use sandbag. And
Sandbag him.
I just got sandbagged. Okay.
Yep.
It's Artifact.
I
Anytime you're mean to me, I'm just going to come back with that, and that's worse. So you're going to have
What?
to be
Gets
nice
stuck
now.
in my
Oh.
head.
It's going to be there all night now. Oh, yeah, that's right. So this week we had Mascot Monday. So every Monday you'll be able to see a little picture of our dog, Precious. She is the mascot of Artifact, and she often helps out by giving us some inspiration and lifting us up and just coming in and hanging out with us. Tuesdays, you'll be able to hear our weekly podcast.
Which you're listening to now.
Yeah.
On
Congratulations.
Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday.
congratulations.
And you can find that on YouTube and on artifactproduction.com. We're working on getting it on iTunes. we'll have it up there probably this week or next.
But you can also find it on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Wednesdays, we will be posting our blog. And on Thursdays, we'll be having Instagram live streams.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to watch along as we are doing some concept art about different things in the world. So
yeah, so like any characters that are coming up and stuff like that, we're planning on doing an over-the-shoulder shot to record me as I'm drawing on the screen. Miles and Catalina will be here, and we'll be talking along with the audience, looking at y'all's feedback to come up with new characters. And granted, you know, we kind of have an idea of some of the characters that we want, but if we're coming up with generic goons or maybe like even sets and stuff like that.
I mean, we've already gotten a million ideas based off the voices, so I can only imagine what people's comments will be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Friday, we're going to be having a new blog post.
Yeah, I will be authoring a blog post every Friday. It might be covering the crew, it might not. Pretty much I just kind of want to talk about general production, things that I find interesting, things that really influence us overall.
Yeah.
And hey, a lot of times I'll probably post screenshots and stuff like that of the things that I'm working on. So that's just something that I kind of wanted to put out there to help kind of generate content for the site. But also, as an animator, I'm working behind the scenes a lot, so it's not like I can just show all the stuff that I'm working on because a lot of stuff looks really boring. But it's all little incremental building blocks to make these finalized scenes.
And a blog post from Joey is very different than a blog post from Catalina because of how nitty-gritty he has to get with.
What does that even? What?
No, I just meant that, like,
what does that even mean?
It's like a different feel of, it's like a completely different perspective. Whereas we write blog posts as kind of the curators of like casting and writing the script and everything, general updates. And then Joey's will be more kind of specialized, I guess, based on what he's animated during the week or what he's currently struggling with, or his years of experience as an animator for anyone who's more interested in kind of the production aspect of it.
Yeah, sure. So if you have any things you'll actually want to hear about, let me know. But until then, I'm just going to pretty much write whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, and then lastly, Saturdays are our sketchy Saturdays.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I'm going to be involved in. So working on the crew all week leaves me kind of drained in a sense. So it's kind of fun to just do something fan art related, I guess.
Yeah.
Really, I got good at drawing by drawing X-Men, DC Comics, stuff like that, just for fun.
Ninja Turtles,
Power Rangers, all that stuff. So Sketchy Saturdays are pretty much just going to be me putting up an image of me working on a sketch, probably fan art, something like that. Yeah, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do a time lapse for that. I don't think I will right now, but I may save them.
It might be fun to start taking requests for those also. If, you know, we start getting an audience for those.
Oh, man. Hey, yeah. That would be cool. If anyone wants to see anything, let me know. Because, tweet us. Tweet us at Artifact Media, ARTEFACT_media.
And to find us on Instagram, you just have to look for Artifact, ARTEFACT Production.
Yeah, and if you want fan art, feel free to request it there just for fun. I'll just do it for fun on Saturdays just to kind of clear my palate.
Yeah.
Sketchy
Doing
Saturday.
it for fun.
And moving on, Miles, we've got some business to handle.
What?
The cage.
Feels like my skull's on fire.
Feels like my
skull's on
I
fire.
got you to say it. I finally
feels like my skull's on fire, but I'm good. Okay, so as listeners from last week's podcast will know that I met the man, the legend, Nic Cage. Not only did I depart that event with kind of a new lease on life, but I also left it with a nice kind of a nice cocktail glass that they gave us with Nicolas Cage's hair blowing from Con Air on it. I also left with, as we discussed last week, a cutout, a full 1-to-1 scale cutout
1-to-1
of Nic Cage screaming as he's grabbing the choir girl's ass from the opening of Face Off. And it is attached to it's like on a nice card stock. It's laminated. It's on like it's adhered to this thick like popsicle stick thing.
Makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good. And we discussed giving that away to one lucky fan. So we are having a sweepstakes of sorts. What we decided to do is...
Yeah, what did you decide to do for this specific non-artifact related contest?
Well, given how Nic Cage has portrayed a hero... Granted,
of
sea
sorts.
level,
Well,
sea
he
level.
did Superman, right?
He was gonna do Superman. He did Ghost Rider. Catalina's a sea level hero in 2006-7's Next, in which he can see into the future. But get this, guys, he can see 2 minutes into the future.
2 minutes.
So, given how useful that superpower is, we figured we might ask you viewers to submit some sea level powers of your own, some ideas. So, if you want to be able to instantaneously alphabetize something, or what would you go for, Catalina?
I would definitely be able to identify whatever melody someone is humming, so that way they would stop humming it, and I'd just be able to tell them to get them to shut up.
What's that song?
What is that song? Stop it.
You just know it off the bat.
Yeah, I just tell them, and then that would be it. End of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to eat whatever I want and never gain weight.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a C level. That is definitely A level.
Yeah, that's
A
A
level
power.
would be it turns into muscle.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's
so-
right, Miles. Because your superpower has something to do with macros, right?
To take it one step douchier, yeah. I wish that I could hit my macros, which are macronutrients. It's fats, carbs, and proteins. I wish I could hit those every day without actually trying or having to eat healthy stuff.
I wish you'd hit leg day.
That would help build muscle in my legs. I got chicken legs. Whatever. That would be my sea level power. So we want you guys. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna post a photo of the titular Nic Cage face cutout for the sweepstakes on our Instagram and on our Twitter. And what we would like is for on that post on Instagram, if you want to comment what your superpower would be, and likewise on Twitter, if you want to tweet at Artifact Media, like we said earlier, and say what your sea level superpower would be. And then at the end of the week, when we're getting ready to make next week's podcast, we will choose a winner and announce it.
Yeah.
And we will mail it to you, you lucky winner.
First class priority. We'll bubble wrap the hell out of it.
Okay, so if they're on Twitter, what do they need to hashtag to get y'all to pay attention to it?
On Twitter and on Instagram, actually.
Yeah.
We'd like if you would hashtag the crew and hashtag Cageface. That's CAGEFACE.
Cage face.
Because that's what you will hopefully be receiving as a cage face.
And just, if you could, please, once ever you receive it, just take a picture with it. And
that'd be really
That'd be really
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
So as we come to the end of this week's podcast, I just want to remind everybody to continue to audition. There are still opportunities. And even if you don't fit the role, guess what? You may create a role for yourself.
Yep.
It's surprising how often that is happening.
Mhm.
Cosmic eel.
No, but yeah, the minority of auditions are the ones that we kind of just decide aren't right. The majority of the ones we found a place for. So it's really worth continuing to audition and to urge friends to audition. Anyone you think
Please
might be
do.
right for.
Yeah, so I hope you look forward to all those things we're going to be doing on social media. Check out the live stream whenever that happens.
That'll be Thursday. I'll be sending out a tweet to remind everyone.
To remind everyone.
Yeah.
And we will be doing that weekly at the same time, so that way you can plan on it. So I think that's it for this week's edition of the Artifact Production Podcast. Remember, if you want to find us on Twitter, we are at Artifact Media. That's ARTEFACT_media. Our homepage is artifactproduction.com, spelled the same way, except, let me go ahead and spell it. ARTEFACT production.com. That's singular.
Miles, are you sure there's no other power that you'd want to do?
Would it be scratch your body anywhere without anyone seeing you?
Oh, wait.
Isn't that a really
That's
good
a
one?
really good one.
Scratch your body anywhere with that.
No, that's you'd be
you.
just think of how often that would come in handy. Seriously.
You're looking at me so you're. Wow,
No, that's my new
serious,
power. Okay, yeah, that's it.
That's a
That's
great power,
amazing.
isn't it? Yeah.
That's really good. I mean, I almost want to call that B level or A level, but you know,
That's A level. That's not saving lives. That's convenience.
well, it feels as good as saving a
I
life.
think it's a level.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Anyway, for this week's edition of the Artifact Production Podcast, I'm Jose,
I'm Catalina.
I'm Miles.
and he's scratching himself without you seeing.
How would you know?
See you next week.